In this lesson we're going to look at how to multiply out double brackets. What we mean by double brackets is when you've got two terms in one bracket and two terms in another bracket. Now there's a method to do this and a technique to follow. I'm going to show you how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is you want to basically multiply the second two terms here, the x and the 2, by the x at the front. I've drawn these red lines in to help with this. You can draw these in any questions that you have to help you. But this is how we're going to look at it. So x multiplied by the first x comes first. You always do that first. So x times x, and that makes x squared. You then do x times the 2 at the end, and that's 2x. So that's us followed the red lines here, x times x and x times 2x. But we've got a second term here, so we need to multiply the second bracket by this term as well. So 3 times x gives you 3x, and 3 times 2 gives you the 6 at the end. So that's us successfully multiplied the x plus 2 by the x and the 3. We have to finish it off by simplifying it. So to simplify it, what you're looking to do is you're looking to simplify these two middle terms. So these two middle terms, you can see you can have 2x plus 3x, that makes 5x. There's nothing we can add to the 6, there's not another number term, and there's nothing we can add to the x squared. There's no more x squared, so we can't collect them up. So leave the x squared alone, add your 2x and your 3x to make 5x, and plus 6 at the end, and that is you finished. That's you multiplied out the double brackets. And it usually takes this form of x squared, and then an x, and then a number value at the end. Okay, let's look at some more examples here. All pluses, so we'll keep it simple in the first lesson. So let's start with the x again. X times x makes x squared. Then x times 1 makes x. Then move on to the 5, do the 5 times the x, and that's 5x. And then the 5 times the 1 to finish off, which is 5. Again, the x squared can't do anything, you can't add other x squares to it because there's none there, but you can collect up this middle bit. We've got x and 5x, and that makes 6x, and then a plus 5 at the end. Okay, moving on to the next one. X plus 4 times x plus 1. Again, start with the x. So you're following the first red line, if you like. X times x to start, which is x squared. Then x times 1, which is x. And then you move on to the 4. I want to multiply everything here by 4. So 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 1 is 4. Same idea as before, you can add the 4x and the x, and that makes 5x in the middle. So it's x squared plus 5x plus 4. Now sometimes you'll see something like this, x plus 2 squared. To square something means you just multiply it by itself. So you can rewrite that as that there. A common mistake here is to say that's x squared plus 4 and just square the x and square the 2. But you need to write the brackets out side by side. And then you do the same process. You start with the x. Now if you want to draw in your lines, if you're finding it difficult to follow and you want to draw them in, then all you would do is you would say, okay, it's that times the first x, then that times the 2. So x times x is x squared, and x times the 2 is 2x. And then you basically move on to the 2 here. So you do 2 times x and 2 times 2. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. Click the two middle bits up to get 4x, and that's your answer. X squared plus 4x plus 4. Okay, last one. Again, there's no lines on this. If you want to draw them in, you can do. So we're starting here. You're going to multiply that by this x here, and then you're going to multiply it by the 5. So 2x times x. Now the way I think about this is 2x times 1x. So I do the numbers first. 2 times 1 is 2, and x times x is x squared. So that really just goes to 2x squared. We're doing 2x times 5, so that's 10x. And then we're going to move on to the 3. So I'm going to do 3 times x and 3 times 5 to finish. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, collect the two middle bits up to make 13 and you're done. So 2x squared plus 13x plus 15.